Hi, everyone. Marianne Croce here from Small Biz Vantage. And I'm really looking forward to this week's business and leadership training in 15 minutes. Each week, I go over business and leadership, and we do a quick training on it in 15 minutes. And the goal here is to have you shift your perspective a little bit on business and leadership and then be able to apply one takeaway, one action item that you could use. For today's topic, it's lead by example. And this is a topic that I speak on and I talk to business owners on often. And it's something that comes up when they're looking to fix something in their business, an issue or a challenge that comes up. And when I think about leadership, I'm talking about like a lot of different pillars when it comes to leadership and helping people, helping this generation and even the next generation of leaders coming in, helping them and giving them guidance to focus on challenges that they, face, challenges that come up. Because it's kind of easy to lead when everything's going well. But we know in business, it doesn't work that way all the time, right? Life happens, challenges happen. So it's really important to remember that leading by example to me is like a number one pillar when it comes to learning about leadership and becoming the best leader that you could be. So today, what I wanted to do is really go into what leadership and leading by example actually means. So if you are on the replay, comment below. I'd love to hear any comments, anyone that's on. Welcome for joining me. And yeah, if you're on the replay, feel free to jump in and comment as well. Thanks for being here. So when I talk about leadership and leading by example, here are the benefits of why leading by example is so important. What it does is it builds trust and respect. Very important as leaders to have that trust and respect. When someone leads by example, the people that are following you see you as someone who is capable of running a team. And the team members actually see you as a trusted mentor. And you can actually inspire people. You can inspire them to trust teammates and respect teammates as well. So this really helps people get collaborative, and it also helps even increase customer loyalty. The other thing that leadership does when you lead by example is you know that it's going to influence, because that's what leadership is, it's influence. It's really going to influence your team members, their attitude, their satisfaction for where they work, and their performance. So it's really important because you'll find that people in the company, even customers, there's a greater sense of loyalty there. The other thing that happens is it really sets the foundation for a positive work culture. And I know culture is like a big topic when people talk about it, but when we're talking about this focus, right, on positive work culture, when you lead by example, you're actually someone who's walking the walk, right? Very, very different from someone who's saying, do as I do, and do as I say, not as I do. Like that's the total opposite. And when you do this, your team realizes it and they see it. You're walking the walk. So those values that you have, they show up daily. Another thing that it does is it actually increases productivity, because it's easy for teams to be productive when they see a leader who is doing the hard work. They're keeping their commitments and they're focusing on shared outcomes that they've discussed with a team. And what this leads to is like a deeper desire for the team to work hard and to do work that makes the whole team proud, that they can all share a win on and have that feeling of success, feeling of accomplishment. So when your words and actions align, the team really doesn't waste all this energy trying to figure out, what do you mean? I don't understand what's going on. They're saying one thing, but I think they mean something else. That takes a lot of energy. So when you practice what you preach and you lead by example, it really does help in these 4 areas. Actually, 5 areas. It can help with morale, it can help with trust, respect. It can help with a positive work culture, and it also can increase productivity. Now, what happens when you don't lead by example and you're more along the lines of do what I say, not what I do? And kind of like the old, it's my way or the highway type of attitude. And you may have worked with someone like this at some point in your career. So, what does that look like when that happens? Well, the first thing that happens is because there's that lack of trust, they don't see that good example. What happens is you get low work ethic. That's like the first thing that goes is work ethic. And then what happens is you get low morale in a company. And this can really kill, lack of leadership can kill morale and the sense of being upbeat and working for a common goal. It just really kills that. And it's hard for people to feel a sense of satisfaction or to even feel like they're aligned with what you're doing because they don't have trust. The next thing that can happen when you have a lack of leadership in the sense that you're not leading by example is you can see or notice a high turnover rate. And this is a really costly part of doing business because, as we know, there is a huge cost of attracting the right team members and then onboarding them and training them and developing them just to turn around and have turnover and then have to go through the whole process again. So businesses that have poor leadership, we've noticed over the years that they have that high churn rate. Another thing that happens is your systems are ineffective because leaders that show their teams that are working and leading by example, they're showing their team how to do things faster and better because you have efficient systems and processes in place. The opposite of that is when you don't take the time to explain, you don't take the time to create these systems and processes. People want structure. People want to know when they're doing a good job. They want to self assess and they know what the expectations are. So when you have those ineffective systems and processes in place and they're not working, there's a big lack of communication and people don't know what the expectations are. They don't know when they're winning. They don't know when they're doing a good job. And another thing that can happen is that lack of trust and respect. And when you don't lead by example, people question. People question and they struggle with, why they're there, what the big picture is, why we're doing what we're doing. And it's not a good feeling to work for any company along the side of a team and for an owner that you don't trust because you don't feel at the end of the day that your job is really rewarding, that you're an asset or you're valuable, you're valued and appreciated. So these are the things that really show up when you lead by example and when you don't lead by example. One of the things that I noticed in past jobs were I had great examples of leadership And when I did have great examples of leadership, I personally felt that I was thriving in my job and in my career. I felt opportunities to develop myself, develop my skills, right? And that's what leadership is. It's actually a skill. And I felt like there was opportunity for me because I came home and I, really had a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. I felt like I was productive. And even when we have challenges and things don't go as planned, having that structure, having that lead by example, and letting your team see that, okay, here's a difficult time right now that I'm going through, the company is going through, we're going through as a team. And when they trust you, you actually can have them help you. You can have them bring their skill sets and their talents to the table, and you can collaborate. And that just makes your business, your company, your leadership even more valuable to them. And here's the other thing, too, is that when you lead by example, they're getting the experience and the joy and the fulfillment of working with someone who is a leader, who has their back and cares about them. They bring that home. If that's in their DNA and they're excited about that, you're giving them tools for even in their personal life. They can take that home with them and they can have examples of being a leader in their life as well. Because outside of the work environment, we have our personal life. So it could be being an example with family, with friends, with a partner or a spouse. It could be children, grandchildren. We're an example of leadership. And so when people follow you and they align with you, there's so much value in it. So, as I said before, this is a skill. It's a skill that you can learn, it's a skill that you can develop. And a lot of times we haven't had, when we think of the work environment, many of us haven't had good examples of leadership in our lives. So it's hard sometimes to draw on an example from the past. So it's something that you can work on, and these are skills that you can develop. You can sharpen your leadership skills, and you can learn to be constructive when you have to deal with conflict, because there will be conflict and there will be decisions that will have to be made, difficult decisions in your business. You'll learn to be a better communicator. You can communicate more kindly, give people the truth, give people the facts, but you can do it in such a way that it's done kindly. It's not done in a abrupt type of manner. The door is always open for them to ask questions and for them to learn. And it makes it easier to bounce back from failure, right? Things will happen, things will challenges will come up. We went through COVID and businesses had to pivot and shift. And leadership, leading by example, was something that a lot of team members watched. And a lot of team members, had second guesses when they were let go, whether it was in the automotive industry, which I represent, or other industries. And business owners wondered why, when they called them back, that some people didn't come back. Well, they had a lot of time to question leadership and to question, if something were to happen again, am I going to be let go again? So they had a lot of time to think about it. So I'm talking about leading by example, and really what I'm covering here is practice ethical leadership and being ethical and having those values, those core values in place. It makes it a lot easier. So I appreciate everyone who is here on this live session, and anyone that's on the replay. Thank you for coming. If you feel that this was valuable, please feel free to share it with another business owner that you know. So thanks again. I want you to have an enjoyable week, and I look forward to next week's training. Have a great day.